नमस्ते बिटिया। हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। ऑनलाइन क्लासेस की सीरीज में जो कि डिजिटल क्लासेस हम लोग ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं, उसमें आज मैं एक नया लेक्चर लेने जा रहा हूँ, जो कि पिछले लेक्चर का कंटिन्यूएशन है। पिछली बार हमने बीबीसीआर पार्ट 1 डिस्कस किया था। इस लेक्चर में बीबीसीआर पार्ट 2 डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। लेक्चर शुरू करने से पहले मैं कुछ आप लोगों से जो है निवेदन करना चाह रहा हूँ कि वी आर all proud to be part of the best women university in India, and I welcome you all in this repertory class on digital version 2.0 at JVW platform as per schedule provided by the university, having the best homeopathic college in Jaipur. Hope my lecture will satisfy your quest for knowledge. Please listen carefully and drop your queries in the comment box in the YouTube channel, which I will answer in the problem solving session. So we start with the lecture BBCR part 2. So see, Bogar was the first person who appreciated the use of clinical conditions in grouping medicines. This is very important point. He used clinical conditions in grouping medicines, means the use of clinical conditions in repertory. Several clinical conditions are mentioned in his repertory, which helps the physician in the case of advanced tissue changes, where we will not get a clear picture of the disease because of poor susceptibility or poor vitality of the patient. When the vitality is poor, the patient is not able to furnish all the symptoms in the organism. So in such cases, Monigason's repertory is of great help. So this is a very important point. These rubrics help us to arrive at a small group of medicine which can be further narrowed down with the help of modalities. देखिए, अगर बहुत ज़्यादा एडवांस पैथोलॉजी का केस भी नहीं है और पैथोलॉजिकल बेसिस पे आप चल भी रहे हैं और वाइटैलिटी ठीक भी है, तो इन दैट केस द मोडालिटीज एंड इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक फीचर्स विल हेल्प to reach at the final medicine. It doesn't mean that we are always prescribing on the pathological symptoms, not necessarily. Then evaluation of remedies. Bogar has evaluated remedies in his repertory in 5 grades like Bonigason. The first grade is given as capitals. The second grade medicine is given as bold Romans, and the third grade is given as italics. The fourth grade are given as simple Roman, and the fifth grade is given as Roman in parentheses. Then the doctrine of fever totality. This is the unique feature. Bonigason has also given a fever chapter, but here in Bogar's work, the fever chapter is so much elaborated that each stage of fever is marked by, is given or is added with concomitants. It's a unique contribution of Bogar. And this section can be considered as a repertory or a self-contained repertory within the large repertory. Each stage of fever is completed by time, aggravation, amelioration, and concomitant. It is almost a complete chapter. Then the other doctrine of Bogar is the doctrine of concordances. Here, Bogar deals with 125 remedies in the relationship chapter. It can be used for studying relationship of remedies at various levels like mind, part, sensation, modalities. Now the Bogar concept of totality. Bogar has followed the same 7 points as given by Dr. Bonigason. The first point is quiz, that means changes in personality and the temperament. should be taken into account. The second point is quid. The third point is UB means the seat of disease. Quid is peculiarity of the disease. UB is seat of disease. And quiz is change in personality and temperament. Quibus auxiliaris means auxiliary complaints or the concomitants. Cur means cause. Quomodo means modalities, and quando means time modalities. So these are the 7 points which were given by Dr. Bonigason, and same are followed by Dr. Boger. Then the Boger's method of evaluation. Bonigason has not given any evaluation in his repertoire. I'm talking about evaluation of symptoms before repertorization. Bonigason was the first who gave evaluation of medicines in his repertoire, but he has not given evaluation of symptoms in case of repertorization. But Boger has given a method of evaluation in his work BSK, Boger Synoptic Key, which is as follows. He says that first of all, we have to cover modalities, the causative modalities, time modalities, temperature, weather, open air, all the conditional modalities we can take. Then the second point is mind. What is the condition of the patient in disease like irritable, sad, placid? Then the third point is sensation. What are the sensations the patient is uh, experiencing during the disease process, like burning, cutting, cramping, bursting, soreness, throbbing, the thirst. Thirst is also a sensation. Then the objective aspect of the patient, that is the signs, the demeanor of the patient, the restlessness, the nervous excitability, the facial expression, torpor, secretions, color, odor, the things which we can see, the gestures, the grimaces. These are all the objective aspect of the patient. Demeanor means his behavior during disease, restlessness, nervous excitability, facial expression, torpor. Torpor means there is no desire to communicate. The last point in the evaluation of uh, symptoms in Boger's method is the part affected, the particular, the organ, whether it is on the right side or on the left side. You have to consider that. So first of all, modalities, then mind, then sensation, then objective aspect, and lastly, the particular. In how shall I find the remedy? Boger states, important point to be noted here are the presence of irritability, sadness, fear, placidity, etc. Mind is given adequate importance for selecting the drug, and it becomes imperative that the remedy selected is always in agreement with the mind. The interdependence of mental and physical state is so great we can never afford to overlook it entirely. They classify every other symptom often in a decisive way. So Boger has given adequate value to the mental symptoms. Boniason has also given adequate value, but he was not able to give uh, 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 adequately or a lot of mental symptoms in his repertory part, because he was not able to dissect them in symptom dimensionality as per his work from Materia Medica Pura of Hahnemann. But here Boger has enlarged this section, the mental section. We can use it so often for eliminative purpose or differentiating purpose. Now the gross divisions of the book. You will find an historical sketch of the Bonigason first of all. Preface is there in 2 parts. An introductory essay about source books, notes by Boger, then on the use of the repertory, Then choosing the remedy. Various rules are suggested over here how to choose the remedy. Then repetition of the dose, homeopathic prognosis, what can be uh, the prognosis of the patient according to the reaction of the patient to the remedy given is discussed in this point. Then index of the contents of the repertory, then index of medicines in the materia medica part, index of chapters in the repertory part, the section in repertory, they are 53 units. Then location and sensation are given together. Modalities, general modalities like time, aggravation, amelioration, there is a separate chapter. Concomitants are there with each chapter. Particular modalities are also there with each chapter. Location and sensation are given in each chapter. Cross references are inserted in every chapter as required. After the materia medica and repertory part, towards the end of the book, there are 3 more indexes dealing with word index to Boger Boniasen repertory compiled by S.P. Roy. This word index constitutes 101 pages. So at the end of the book, there is a word index to the Boger Boniasen repertory, which was compiled by S.P. Roy. Now the total number of pages in this whole repertory is 1231, which are arranged in double columns. The word index is arranged chapter wise. Later, an index was prepared by Dr. Tiwari, where he gives the total number of remedies represented in the repertory to be 442. But originally, the book contains 489 remedies. Now, the chapter concordances. This chapter concordance is very important, and it follows same uh, construction as in therapeutic pocketbook of Bonigason. But here, beside, in contrast to 141 remedies, only 125 remedies are discussed. Under same rubrics, that is mind, location, sensation in general, gland, bone, skin, blood circulation, and fever. In some sections, concomitants are well elaborated. Chapter on fever. The chapter on fever is full of concomitants. With each stage of fever, there is a chapter of concomitant. Each concomitant section is further divided into subchapters beginning with mind and ending with dreams, sleep and dreams. Detailed concomitant sections are given in chapters like stool, concomitants before, during, after stool, micturition, before, at beginning, during, and at the close of and after urination, sexual impulse, menstruation, fever. In this chapter, detailed concomitants are given, which is very useful. And then there are few chapters in which there are no concomitants. The examples are sensorium, head internal, eyes, ear, nose, face, mouth, appetite, thirst, taste, eructation, water brush, hiccough, hypochondria, abdomen, external abdomen, inguinal and pubic region, flatulence, anus and rectum, perineum, prostate, urinary organs, genitalia, larynx and trachea, voice and speech, neck, chest, back, upper extremities, and lower extremities. These chapters are not having any concomitant subchapter. Then the fever chapter, which is most elaborated and is a beauty of BBCR, there are by far the most elaborate of the of the chapters in the repertory. There are 5 subchapters in this fever chapter, which are as follows. First is the pathological types. Second is the chill. Third is the heat. Fourth is the sweat, and fifth is the compound fevers. Then the chapters without any subchapters are stomach and prostate gland. This prostate gland is the smallest chapter in this repertory. So this is all in BBCR part 2. So at the end of this session, I would like to give you an assignment, which is a type of subjective question. And the question is, you have to enumerate various examples of clinical and concomitants in contrast in BBCR and justify its utility in homeopathy. You have to justify use of BBCR in homeopathy by enumerating various examples of clinical and concomitants in contrast. So this is your homework, your assignment. So we end this session with this question. See you in the next session with a new lecture, that is BBCR part 3. Take care of your health. Until then, goodbye.